Christina Moreno is an undergrad student applying for admission to Princeton University. All applicants are required to write an essay on the most influential people in their lives and how they shape their identity.
Such was my mother's need to protect me, that she would not let me see her cry.
Christina has written about her mother, and her essay catches the eye of the betters. In her essay, she tells the story of her childhood and how it shaped the person she has become today. Christina lived with her mother, Flor Moreno, in Mexico. Christina's father had abandoned them when she was still young. She reminisces how her mother used to put a happy face in front of her and go outside to cry. But she could hear her mother crying. So she would pretend that she couldn't hear her mother's weeps. In that way, both of them looked out for each other. Soon her mother left Mexico for the US so that both of them can live a better life. They sneaked into the US illegally, so Christina writes in her essay that their journey to the US was an economy class. They went straight to Los Angeles, as it had a big Mexican population, which would shelter them as they slowly integrated into their new lives. At first, they were confused by the new society they had walked into, but as soon as they got to the Mexican locality, their eyes lit up as they found their people. They moved in with a cousin of her mother. Her mother, Flor, took on 2 jobs at once, seeking a better life for her and Christina. But as Christina grew up, Flor realized that now she had to spend more time with a teenaged Christina and guide her through her adolescence. So she looks to earn the same from one job, what she used to make from 2 jobs. Flor's cousin takes her to a job interview to work as a nanny for the Klasky family, consisting of John and Deborah, their children Bernice and Georgie, and Deborah's mother, Evelyn. Flor doesn't speak English, so the job interview is a fun and confusing one. Nobody really understands what the other is saying. Deborah even has a hard time pronouncing Flor's name, but she gets it after Flor gives her a compliment for trying. She ends up earning $650 a week, $200 more than what both her jobs used to pay. Flor takes Christina out to celebrate. Christina acts as a translator for Flor wherever they go, and that serves as lessons for Christina on how to deal with the world and stand up to insensitive people. On her first day at the job, Flor tries to understand the family dynamics of the Klaskys.
Is going to solve the issue here? It's worked before.
John is an easygoing man who likes making jokes and spending time with his children, while Deborah is a former businesswoman turned stay-at-home mother, along with being quite psychotic and short-tempered. She goes to the extent of shaking with rage when Flor attempts to play fetch with her dog, and again when John talks nicely to the kids. John works as a chef, and it is quite clear that he is a hit with the ladies. His mother-in-law, Evelyn, is slowly developing into an alcoholic. Deborah is uptight, and her neurotic behavior often upsets the family. Deborah body shames Bernice by forcing her to exercise, buying her small-sized clothes, and putting her down for certain behaviors. She frustrates John by expecting him to be submissive and accepting of her parenting style with Georgie. Meanwhile, George is more laid back and supports the mental well-being of his children, but he feels that he cannot stand up to Deborah, and so usually decides to let her be. Flor sees what's going on in their family, and she tries not to interfere in the matters of their family. But she can't help suppress her motherly feelings when she sees Deborah being put down by her mother. So she does small things, like make her clothes a better fit and pamper her with food. Soon, the family decides to move to a house on the beach for 3 months, and Flor is needed to be a full-time nanny for the summer. Unable to communicate well in English, Deborah finds a neighbor to translate, but Flor says that she cannot carry on because the long commute will make it impossible for her to travel up and down daily. She stresses the point that she has to go back to her home every day, as she has to look after Christina. Out of desperation to keep Flor as their nanny, Deborah offers Flor to bring along Christina to come stay with them. Flor agrees, and the mother-daughter duo moves in with them. Christina acts as an interpreter for her mother. Deborah immediately likes Christina as she is beautiful, thin, and well-behaved, and she begins to treat her more like a daughter than Bernice.
Go, get out of your way and put our things away.
Yes, go get settled.
The clothes and gifts which Deborah buys for Christina do not go unnoticed by Flor, who does not approve. She writes an angry letter to Deborah about asking her permission before taking her kids away from her. which everyone in the house understands except Deborah herself. Meanwhile, John needs some beach stones for a project that he is working on, and the children are bored. So John looks to kill 2 birds with 1 stone and gives them a task in which the kids will receive money in exchange for various pieces of glass they collect from the beach. Christina takes the task seriously and ends up receiving $640 for her collection. But Fleur finds out about this and is overwhelmed and angry at the large sum of money given to her daughter. So she rushes to John with Christina as the interpreter and instructs Christina to translate everything word for word. Christina treats this like a soap opera and presents a dramatic enacting of everything that was said. Fleur is mad about the fact that they do things without asking her and wants to leave because of the awkward family dynamic. She vents all her anger on John, who listens patiently. Fleur says that nobody should interfere in her personal life with her daughter. But after a point, John also reminds her that she interfered in their lives too by making clothes a bit bigger for Bernice, and so she's being a little hypocritical on her criticism of John. Fleur concedes that she indeed is being hypocritical, much to John's surprise, who probably has never won an argument with Deborah. Fleur then announces that she will leave the next day, which again surprises John. She feels that she cannot stay there anymore after the exchange she had with them, but John coaxes her into staying, explaining to her that if she leaves now, it will be because of Christina, who will blame herself, and Fleur will never do that to her. Fleur notices what a wonderful parent John is and decides to stay.
All right.
Okay.
It's late. You guys get some sleep.
Vámonos a dormir.
Much to Christina's delight, Fleur also decides to learn English so she can communicate better with the Klaskis. Fleur's English lessons are costly, but she seems to be learning it fast. In the meantime, John falls into a temporary depression because of the stress of his new restaurant business. He returns home drunk and stumbles upon Fleur, who's taking English lessons. Fleur understands his pain, but she is helpless. The next day, Deborah enrolls Christina into a private school with Bernice, upsetting Fleur, who wants Christina to keep in touch with her Mexican roots and working-class values. Fleur voices her anger to John, who is also frustrated at the way Deborah treats Bernie and Georgie. They have a heartfelt conversation about being vulnerable for their children. Summer ends, and Christina and Bernice attend their first day of school together. That afternoon, Christina is allowed to bring her school friends back to the Klaski's house without Fleur's knowledge. Meanwhile, Fleur is hosting a party for her cousin's mother back at her old house. Deborah calls Fleur and makes an excuse about Christina studying late, while on the contrary, Christina is having a sleepover with her friends. Fleur had not given permission for this, and is upset at the situation. The repeated interference of the Klaskis irks Fleur, and she decides to quit. Meanwhile, Deborah again leaves for the night, but this time, Evelyn stops her and tells her that she knows about Deborah's affair. She asks her to stop it and fix her marriage, as John is having doubts. So, Deborah confesses to John that she cheated on him with their realtor. She begs him to stay so that they can work things out, but John is heartbroken. He walks out in a confused daze and bumps into Fleur, who quit her job and was about to inform him. He offers to give Fleur a ride to the bus stop, but they end up going to his restaurant, where he cooks for her. They have a genuine and deep conversation and become closer. Fleur tells John that she loves him, but she runs away as soon as she says this. She's afraid of the consequences of a relationship since they both have children. John returns back home, where Evelyn and Deborah just had a heartfelt conversation about how Evelyn's promiscuous past has rubbed off on Deborah. Evelyn says that her own failings as a parent have caused Deborah to become the person that she is, and the two become closer as mother and daughter. When John enters, Evelyn mentors Deborah on how not to talk to him, advising her to avoid questioning him, but John is too upset to deal with anything, and he excuses himself. He sits in Fleur's old room, which is now vacant, when Bernice checks up on him. He assures her that everything is fine and consoles her. All parents are having moments with their kids, and this is John's time for some father-daughter bonding. The next morning, Fleur goes to bring Christina with her back to her home, as she has quit the job. But Christina is having a good time with her new friends, and so she gets angry at her mother. Bernice and Evelyn bid Fleur an emotional goodbye as Christina runs straight into the arms of Deborah, whom she likes a lot. As the girls bid farewell to Christina, Fleur runs into John outside the gate, and they have a short and sweet farewell. They both are upset, but they cannot say anything in the presence of Christina. As they walk home, Christina is still obsessed with her new friends and wants to sleep over at the Klaskys, but Fleur tells her that she won't be going to the private school anymore. On hearing this, Christina throws a tantrum in the middle of the street and screams at Fleur.
I'll never be able to forgive you!
She accuses Fleur of ruining her life. The passers-by stare at them to figure out what's going on, but Fleur doesn't react at all. She continues walking. At the bus stop, Fleur approaches Christina to console her, but Christina rudely tells her that she needs some space. Similar to the Klaskys avoiding each other and asking for space, they cannot solve a problem. This tugs at Fleur's motherly heart, and she explains to her daughter that it is time for her to answer the most important question of her life. Fleur asks Christina in broken English, "Is what you want for yourself to become someone very different than me?" This question gets Christina thinking, but soon she admits the fact that her identity will never be shaped by anything other than her mother. Nothing else will define her as profoundly as her connection to her mother. She realizes that her mother is her best friend and her biggest supporter. She hugs Fleur on the ride home as she realizes that her identity rests firmly on her mother, Fleur Moreno.
I am my mother's daughter.